Dana White just announced today that Ilia Topuria has vacated the featherweight title after his back-to-back wins over Volk and Max Holloway, and will now move up to 155. I respect Ilia for not holding up the featherweight division. It's not like he's retaining the 145 belt while he chases some Islam matchup for champ status. No, he's officially making a permanent move up to lightweight, as it seems like Topuria can't make the 145 pound weight cut anymore. That's exactly what fighters that struggle with the weight cut in their respective divisions should be doing. I hate seeing fighters who are absolutely killing themselves to make the weight on the scale. They look like skeletons, and all MMA fighters should try to fight at a more comfortable weight. Anyway, what I think the UFC are planning to do is make the Islam vs Topuria fight for International Fight Week, if the Jon Jones-Tom Aspinall matchup falls through, which is more than possible. If they have Jon Jones locked in for International Fight Week, then perhaps Ilia will face a lightweight contender instead, and I'd be very much in favour of this. Maybe Topuria could be Dustin Poirier's retirement fight. Who knows, but Ilia coming to lightweight makes the division way more interesting. Like I said in my video a few days ago, we need a new crop of quality prospects that aren't just gonna get beat up by, the Poiriers, the Gaethjes, the Oliveras, the old school veterans. So with Ilia Topuria dropping the belt, Alex Volkanovski vs Diego Lopes will be the main event of UFC 314 for the featherweight title. I cannot wait for this fight. It's such a classic striking matchup that has a lot of moving parts to it. Full disclosure, as an Aussie, I want Volk to smash this guy to bits and become the two-time 145 pound champion. Just like all of Volk's opponents recently though, Diego Lopes is not a walk in the park, and you gotta give Volk all the respect in the world for facing yet another hungry young killer. Especially because he's 36 years old in the featherweight division. This ain't like heavyweight where power is the last thing that goes and you see 40-year-old ranked guys still. The 145 pound division is a young man's game, but let's examine the Volk vs Lopes matchup itself and I'll tell you how I see it playing out. Diego Lopes is a tall, lanky featherweight and is primarily a striker. He hits hard and can put guys like Brian Ortega down very quickly. In the Ortega fight in particular, Ortega was moving forward and trying to get his own shots off, then got countered and dropped by Lopes. The dude is a good counterpuncher, and that's dangerous for Volk, especially after the back-to-back knockout losses he's suffered. Lopes could very well catch Volk coming in, but the difference in striking ability between Volk and Ortega is night and day, to be fair. The way that Volk feints and varies his shots up could be way too much for Lopes, and you could outclass him for all 5 rounds. I mean, Volk has fought lanky strikers before, but 1, he's 36 years old, and for a division like featherweight, youth and good reflexes are crucial, and 2, Lopes throws a lot of volume at weird angles, and something could always get through and crack Volk's defenses. I don't want to make it sound like it's all doom and gloom for Volk though. This is a tough fight for Volk, don't get me wrong, but it's also very winnable. It appears like Lopes gasses out by the 3rd round, and while he carries his power well, his striking does become sloppy, and Volk can easily capitalize on this. Volk's been battle tested and he's used to 5-round stand-up fights, so if Volk can weather the storm early on and slow Lopes down in the first 3 rounds, then honestly I see Volk winning a decision. Fans might say that Volk's chin is gone, but to be fair, he took the second Islam fight on short notice, and there was only a 4-month gap between the Islam knockouts and fighting Topuria. Volk has since had a long time to recover and properly get back in the swing of things. Maybe his chin has had it, but we'll have to wait and see. Volk has fought guys like Lopes before, so he does have an idea of what to expect. So is this a make or break fight for Volk? Not really. All the pressure is on Diego Lopes, to me at least, because Volk is already on his way out and has achieved everything in the sport. And no matter what the outcome is, I think Volk should retire after this fight. He literally has nothing left to prove at featherweight, and besides Ilia, who looks like he's making a permanent move up anyway, he's beaten everyone in front of him at 145. Volk is one of the greatest fighters who's ever lived. He's a true national hero, and win or lose after UFC 314, he can comfortably call it a career. But fuck man, how cool would it be if Volk beats up Lopez and retires as the 2-time champ? Although beating Lopez is a tall order, Volk, of all fucking people, can definitely pull it off. The co-main event for UFC 314 is Paddy Pimblett versus Michael Chandler. This isn't a fight I really expected, but now that it's here, I love this matchup. While I want Chandler to get a win and continue to hang around the top 5 rankings, I think Paddy will really show out and use his elite jiu-jitsu skills to submit Chandler. Oh, and I wanted to give a quick shout out to Jim fucking Miller versus Chase Hooper. I like Chase, but man, I want Jim to just keep winning and hanging around in the organization. He's been such a stud over the years, a proper fighter's fighter, and he's gotta be on a main card at some point. What do you guys think of UFC 314? Let me know and I'll catch you down the road.